All right, guys, welcome. Oh, get the marker off. Welcome to a banger video. Today we're going to be talking about one thing and one thing only: limiting beliefs. So, what is a limiting belief? Today, we're going to talk about what a limiting belief is, how to fix it, how to recognize them, and most importantly, why they're keeping you poor, and how to use repetitive positive thinking patterns on how to make you filthy freaking rich. So let me go ahead and erase this, and I'm going to be drawing a graph, henceforth why I have the whiteboard up. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day. It's Friday. At the time of recording, I might be uploading this a little bit later on Friday, but if you're watching this on a Friday, type 1 in the chat, type 2 in the chat if you're excited for this video, type 3 in the chat if you're hard, type 4 in the chat if you're soft, and type 5 in the chat if you're confused by the question. So here is you, okay? And this line right here represents your potential. Frick! Dude, I can't spell. There we go, potential. So this line right here represents your potential. Now, the truth is, about every single human being on the planet, every single person that wants to accomplish anything in life, is that your potential is infinite. Humans and their identity, psychologically, they have infinite possibilities, and free will exists. You can mold your reality, as I've talked about on this channel prior. So the thing is, you have belief systems. So we're just going to write up here, beliefs. Beliefs. Let me erase that so it's a proper I. So every single human has beliefs and belief systems, but the big thing that you guys need to understand about belief systems is that they are formulated on finite experiences, maybe 1, 2, 3 experiences from childhood or overall life that have an effect on you. But belief systems, especially limiting beliefs, okay, this is what you guys need to understand. They are not kept through logic. They are kept through ignorance, okay? Belief systems, especially limiting beliefs, are not kept through logic. They are kept through ignorance. So let me go back to this graph here, okay? So you have potential, and your potential is literally, I'm going to do this. Your potential is infinite. You could become worth $100 billion. You could be worth $1 trillion if you really wanted. Humans can do anything on the planet because they have access to all the resources, no matter where you're from or where you're watching this on the planet. You have infinite potential. But the one thing that is stopping everybody is their beliefs. And the reason why I drew a graph here is because the truth is humans do have raw potential, but your potential is limited to your beliefs. So effectively what I'm saying is if you have a limiting belief or if you have a belief system, now there's a lot of positive belief systems. If you think I can definitely make $1 million, I want to be a millionaire, does that mean you're going to become a billionaire? Like, you see what I'm saying? Humans' potential is infinite, but you can only reach as far as your beliefs. And that's what you guys need to understand. Let me write down, I had like a notes doc that I want to talk about because I just had the definition down. So a belief system is the invisible operating software in your mind, your collection of assumptions, stories, and rules that quietly dictate what you think, what you're capable of, what you deserve, what's possible until you rewrite it and upgrade your entire life. So the problem is that most people have what's called, I'm going to write this in the middle, handed down beliefs. So what is a handed down belief? A handed down belief is probably the most illogical belief that you could possibly have. Everyone likes to be a logical person, right? You want to make money, you want to start a business, you want to sit on here and you want to say that, oh yeah, I'm a logical person. You know, like I understand, you know, like I don't make illogical decisions. I'm a competent and smart intellectual. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is that most people can't get rid of their beliefs because of one thing, and that's ego. Ego is killing you because you can't sit here and admit that you're wrong. You can't sit here and admit that everything that you've been believing, and like I said, this is the quote, come back to the quote, you adopt a belief through experiences, but you do not keep the belief based on data and logic and reason. You keep the belief based on ignorance. Okay? I don't know how many times I need to say that. You keep beliefs on ignorance. Okay? So most people keep these limiting beliefs because of ego, and they never want to admit that they're wrong. But the fact that their ego, or they don't want to be accountable or critical of themselves and what they believe, it's coming in the way and therefore limiting their lives. So at the end of the day, most people have these beliefs that are handed down. A lot of the belief systems that you have and the things that you think are not even based on personal experiences. The majority of them are. Okay, majority of them, maybe you think I'm stupid because 2 teachers called you stupid. I used to think that I'm not a competent individual and I wasn't a smart person because I didn't have good grades in school because I just was never overall interested in school. But at the end of the day, I'm tying myself to metrics that I don't even value. I was capping my potential and my self-worth on metrics that other people tied excess importance to. So I thought that I was a dumb person or I wasn't a smart guy because I was hearing these things from other people and maybe teachers, and I had bad grades, and I definitely got made fun of in school because I had bad grades. And I thought and I remember when I was really going through a period of a change in my life where I was really taking down all these beliefs. I sat there and I thought, I don't think I'm a smart person because every single other person ties competence and intellect to grades on schoolwork. So I don't really care about that stuff, but I'm caring about it because other people care about it. So since other people have tied excess potential and excess importance to this metric, when I don't care about it, why do I care about what they have to say? And obviously I've proved myself that I'm a smart person because I can sit here and articulate myself concisely and make videos like this and make a crap load of money. So I feel like I've squashed that belief through not only action, but also logic. So that is an experience of me having a limiting belief from an experience. But a lot of the times, people are, people are handicapped by handed down beliefs that don't even come from experiences, believe it or not. A lot of these beliefs don't even come from experiences, which is the crazy part. People believe things because they hear things. Now, if you want to look at what somebody believes, don't look at what they say, look at what they do, because beliefs manifest in actions. But at the end of the day, most people are handicapped by these limiting beliefs because they are handed down, specifically from people seen as an authority, right? Parents, teachers, aunts, uncles, grandparents. Of course, wisdom is very much so real, but you have to dissect should I be listening to this person, and is this a logical thing to believe? Even if it's illogical, does it benefit me to believe it? And if it doesn't, then don't. So the problem is that most people have handed down limiting beliefs. Does that make sense? So realistically, a lot of you guys watching this video believe things that you shouldn't believe because you've never gone and experienced it for yourself, right? One thing that and this is a perfect example. I told my mom that I was going to Romania. And I love Eastern Europe. I've been to Croatia multiple times, Romania twice, Serbia. I've been around and I love Eastern Europe. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. Shout out the Balkan guys if there's any Balkan guys watching this video. But my mom kind of freaked out. She was like, Romania? Oh my God, there's human traffickers and the mafia there and da-da-da-da-da. Same with Serbia. Serbia is fairly known for having, mob activity and organized crime. Same with Romania. All that kind of stuff. But she's never been to Romania. She's never been to Serbia. She's never been to Croatia. So these beliefs about reality are not dictated from, or they're not influenced by experience. They're not formed upon experience firsthand. They are made from inputs and handed down beliefs. So I told my mom I wanted to go to Romania when I was about like a year and a half ago. She was like, Romania is dangerous. Share me your location. Please be safe. Stay in the nice areas. Do your research. Da-da-da. I went to Romania. It's one of the safest places I've ever been in my life. I didn't feel in danger ever. I knew a lot of people out there. I was going to the nicest restaurants. I probably linked up with some people that you've probably seen online before. And at the end of the day, it was this amazing. It was super safe. I did not feel unsafe at all. And I had so much fun there. And on top of that, when I went to Serbia, my mom said the same thing. And it was it was so safe. I can't say it was beautiful because I went in the winter time, so it was super depressing, but at the end of the day, it was a very safe place. That was a perfect example of a handed down belief that's not based upon experience, it's not based upon logic, it's based upon ideas and thinking things. And obviously I talk about this a lot recently on this channel, but you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of them. And if you can hear something, then if you can hear something, you're going to think something, and you control what you think, and you can control the way you view what you think. It's like a movie theater. You think something, you're not your thought. You can view this thought from a third party, from an external viewpoint, and choose how you want to believe it, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, I digress. A lot of you guys with the traveling, that was a perfect example of somebody who has a belief system, limiting or not, it's a belief system on something that is not based upon experience. So at the end of the day, I can sit here and confidently say that Romania is a nice country. Okay, maybe Bucharest. Bucharest is a good city. It's a safe city, right? I could say Serbia is a safe city. I can say Switzerland is a safe city. I could say Croatia is a safe country because I've been and I've experienced all these places. I could say Paris is not a safe country because I felt so scared. I was scared. I did not wear my watch anywhere. But I can say that because I've been there. And it's not a handed down belief, okay? So the problem is, to get to the point here, the problem is that most of you guys are limiting and capping your potential because of beliefs. Now, these beliefs take ego to take into account and admit that they're stupid, illogical, or wrong. And these beliefs, 90% of the time, they are handed down. Now, of course, you might have some experience. Maybe you try a business and you try for 4 months and it doesn't work out, and now you say it doesn't work. It's kind of just a lazy belief system. It's more of a coping mechanism than it is an actual database, logic, reasoned belief, because you're just lazy that you don't want to keep working because 4 months is not enough to actually make a bunch of money. But handed down beliefs, a lot of you guys are limited by those because of your parents. Now, this is something that takes a lot of accountability, and I love my mom. I call her, we talk. Sometimes she'll say some things that I just have to sit there and be like, oh, no way. And then know that she's wrong. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're wrong, mom, da-da-da-da. But I love her to death, she's my mom. But at the end of the day, she'll say some things that are just illogical, shit she saw on TikTok. And I'll sit there, I'll sit there and think, okay, that's not logical. There's no reason, there's no data based upon that. So I could sit here, and that's what most people are limited on. Most people hear that because obviously they're parents, and then boom, handed down belief. Oh, authority figure told me this belief system, I have to believe it. Your parents might say it's hard to make money. The only path is to get a job. The only path, don't say the J word around me, the only path is to go to college or go to school and get a degree and then, work in here and spend 20 years to make $1 million. I don't want to work 40 years to make a measly 200 grand a month, 200 grand a year. I'd rather make that in a month in 3 years, which is what we're on pace to do. So at the end of the day, most of you guys are capped in your potential, even though it's infinite, this little barrier that you can never cross. This space is where you are now. This space is whatever you want it to be. This could be $1 bazillion, $1 trillion, septillion, octillion dollars, infinite money, if that's what you're watching this video for. But it's capped, and you're never going to ever even pass it or even get close if you don't squash your limiting beliefs or rewire your brain to think in a way that doesn't really have limiting beliefs. So the problem is that they're handed down. Now, I'm going to tell you how to fix those. Okay, step one, understand that just because this person is an authority figure, have they done what I want to do? Kanye West said, I don't take advice from people less successful than me. A lot of the times, unless your parents are billionaires, then I'd say don't listen to them. I'd say really think about this logically. The best way to make a decision is through logic and reason. So think about, okay, this person's an authority. They've cared, and I view this person as a amount of knowledge, right? You ask your parents for stuff, they're wise because of age. Now, maybe they can't tell you exactly the best way to make money or get a good job because they haven't made a bunch of money, So if your parents are where you want to be in life, then listen to every word they have to say. But my mom was, super adamant about me not dropping out of high school when I dropped out when I was 16. And even though I was making a good amount of money through my businesses, and I could have sat there and wasted all my time finishing another 2 years of high school, and I would have been limited so hard. I would have not been making more money, not been scaling any of that kind of stuff. But in fact, I looked at my mom and I said, didn't say this to her face because I love her, but well, she's not in a place that I want to be. I don't want to live her life financially. So I'm going to take my own path. If I'm 16, I've done this well already, I'm going to take my own advice and go with my gut feeling based on logic and data. 90% of limiting beliefs can be crushed through logic and reason. Stop looking at the source. That's the only thing I need to tell you guys to completely crush your limiting beliefs. You are tied to it not only because of ego, but because of bias towards the source. Stop looking at the source of these handed down beliefs and start looking at the reason, logic, and data. That is how you crush them. That's all it is. You have to crush them through data. Now, another good example here is, I guess I could draw it. Maybe I'll have to erase some stuff really quick for you guys. So I'm going to erase you. So sorry for anyone wanting, no. But anyways, so here's the last thing. Who emailed me? Here's the last thing, okay? Here's this circle. And this is, I just say, your potential. Your potential, okay? Now, this is outside of here. And this would be defined as your beliefs. And as we say, the moment you expand your beliefs and think more, think bigger, whatever it may be, then you're going to expand it. And this is slowly a process, year by year, decade by decade even, of slowly expanding your belief systems to grow, 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 grow. The moment you grow internally, everything changes externally. Your business, the amount of money you're making, the way you manage people, whatever it may be. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you don't have to pay if you don't make money. It's the first link in the description. Watch the video at the top. We have all the case studies, all the wins, all that kind of stuff on the page. I'm not going to sell you on it. No closers, no email collection, no phone numbers, blah, 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 blah. Follow my Instagram at RealSmithReese and friggin' smash the subscribe button if you thought this video was valuable. I hope you guys have an absolutely blessed day. And as always, wait, I said it too early. As always, stay blessed. Thank you.